Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 7 Acre Park here in Everett, Massachusetts for another edition of Senior Day. And it's the girls soccer Crimson Tide of Everett taking on the Somerville Highlanders in a Greater Boston League matchup. Our one senior for the Crimson Tide today is number 3, Captain Isadora Pimenta. She'll be honored at halftime with a little special introduction. In the meantime, her and the rest of her teammates will be taking on a very solid Somerville Highlander squad. And this is a Greater Boston League rivalry, so we're looking to get after it here on what's not a bad day. A little overcast sky. It might look a little worse than it is. We were here on Saturday, and we had sunshine on Saturday, but the winds were brutal. The winds aren't too bad today, 52 degrees with 14-mile-per-hour wind gust blowing from side to side. Looks like the Lady Crimson Tide will start with the game's first possession. And number 23, Gigi Boyce, the junior, will start things off. And the Highlanders quickly come up with it. And that's turned aside defensively by Isadora Pimenta, the captain, making a nice play. Number 9, that's Kira Guardia for the Highlanders, trying to advance it into the Crimson Tide end. That'll be played on defensively by Captain Bridget Frazier. And Gigi Boyce making a nice play for it, setting up defensively. That's number 22, Cheyenne Ambersley, playing on defensively to Violet Stickgold. Nice play, turned aside by Layla Isabella Betancourt Cardona. And we'll have a throw-in coming up, and Betancourt Cardona will throw it in. Well, actually, there were no throw-ins with the COVID protocol, so everything's handled kind of on play with their feet. So it's like a free kick, if you will. So this would be a normal throw-in, but they'll advance it on the ground. That's Leticia Zyvala Ayala. Of course, a special day out there. This is May 4th. So we'll try to incorporate some Star Wars analogies into our broadcast. Of course, may the 4th be with you for those Star Wars fans out there that may be tuning in, of course. Star Wars covers everywhere. All right, so out of bounds, it's going to be Crimson Tide ball, as we just started here in the first half. We don't have an actual scoreboard that operates here at the moment, so this game started pretty much on time, so we'll give you check-ins when we check in with the actual time. They play 2 40-minute halves, running time, with a little bit of extra time added if it's allotted due to any stoppages in play. Somerville Highlanders wearing their road white jerseys, Crimson Tide red with white trim. And we'll have a Highlanders throw-in. And that's Violet Stickgold. She'll again advance it into number 16, Kayla Costa. Costa centers it. Nice play defensively. Knocked out of bounds by number 15, Cynthia Dominguez. And we'll have a corner kick, I believe. Is that in the corner? It's a little far from my... Okay, good. Corner kick. Forgive me, I'm ground level here, so that's the far end of the field, which is furthest away from my eyesight. But corner kick comes in on the ground. That's turned away. Nice play defensively. That looks like number 25, Lamaya Wizard. And Stickgold looks to knock it towards the net, but Pimenta does a nice job clearing it out. And now Frazier will go D to Stephanie Mendoza Bernal. Bernal leaves it. Now that's chipped ahead and played in nicely by Crimson Tide goalkeeper. Let's see, I may have to go check this at halftime. So the goalkeepers always, they wear like a 00 or a 1 jersey often. I'm just trying to see who that is for the Crimson Tide. Nice job allowing the Tide defensively to reset. Here come the Highlanders looking to get something going. We have an offside call. So Crimson Tide ball. And this is Cynthia Dominguez who will take the free kick. Actually, it's going to be Lamaya Wizard. She'll put her right foot into it, hits a nice shot towards center field right at Cheyenne Ambersley, who plays it on, along with number 13, Leticia Zavala Ayala. And the Tide with some pressure. And sending it to her goalkeeper was number 3, Bridget Frazier, who assisted it off to number 1, Elizabeth Da Silva. That's the junior goalkeeper in net for the Highlanders. And offsides, again, is the call. So the Crimson Tide will get it back. And that's advanced, but it's going to go all the way to Da Silva in net. Oh, and they leave it open. That's number 12, Maya Hanley, out in front. Hanley's got a breakaway, and that's wide of the net. Hanley gets ahead of the pack on a nice pass. She stayed on side, but that goes wide left of the net, and it will be Crimson Tide goal kick upcoming. Just skimmed off the surface on a nice kick with some velocity. And that was Layla Isabella Betancourt Cardona with the free kick. Wizard does a nice job to assist it forward. And again, played on to the Crimson Tide goalkeeper, which I am looking into the name of that player now, so bear with us. 00 in net for the Crimson Tide. We will get the name shortly. And that's Gigi Boyce doing a nice job defensively, putting some pressure on. And it's going to be a Crimson Tide throw-in, or again, free kick, no throw-ins, but you know what I mean. There are also no headers allowed for these due to the COVID circumstances for now, which again, in due time that'll be back in play. But for this season, headers are considered a turnover. You got to try to play everything with the chest or the leg area. No handballs, obviously, of course, that still is universal. But those are some of the rules and restrictions with trying to keep any contamination. Out of bounds. And that plays off the fence. It's always marveling to look at the soccer field. There's not a lot of room between the soccer field and the fence, so just about covers all the real estate out there, you know. All right, so we have a couple substitutions coming in. The officials holding play and checking into the game for the Crimson Tide. Looks like number 5, Leah Ferrulo, along with number 18, Tania Ventura Tejada. And they replaced number 15, Cynthia Dominguez, and I believe Betancourt Cardona. No, actually still in there. And that's out of play. It'll be Crimson Tide ball. Goes into Wizard. Touch pass over to Maria Paula Zubeda Numpak. But here come the Highlanders. It's Maria Lessard Brandt. And Brandt, working her way in, centers a nice pass. And the goalkeeper almost comes up with it. And a whistle is blown as Maya Hanley was going after it deep into Crimson Tide territory. But it's going to be Crimson Tide possession. Okay, so yeah, it was looked like the kick went off the post. So untouched out of bounds off the Highlanders player. Crimson Tide ball on the goal kick. About 10 minutes into the first half, we're 0-0 here, live from 7 Acres Park on YouTube. You can check us out at Crimson Tide Athletics, Everett Public Schools. Our crew doing a great job bringing you the action. Nice kick. Nicely played on by Gigi Boyce. She left it for Zavala Ayala, but then now the Highlanders come up with it. This is Lessard Brandt, who passes it over to Hamley. Hamley shot wide of the net. Maya Hamley looks like she is one of the goal scorers for the Highlanders. That's her third shot now, just wide of the net, but she's factored into the offensive plan, so you can see she's a striker. The force is definitely strong with Maya Hanley right now, of course. And we're going to have a whistle there. White kick coming up. So Highlanders possession. And that's played on by Bridget Frazier. Frazier loses it back, goes back the other way. It's Stephanie Azurdia providing some chase, but that goes all the way back to goaltender Elizabeth Da Silva. She passes it out to Stephanie Mendoza-Bernal. Now, jockeying for the loose ball. Highlanders maintain possession. Lessard Brandt. Nice chip pass. Good defense by Betancourt Cardona, but the Highlanders continuing the pressure. Oh, nice move right there by Hamley. Behind the back. Nice save off the right foot of Kaylee Costa, who fired it in on net, but good save by the Crimson Tide goalkeeper. And the Crimson Tide goalkeeper is Mariana Madrigal, the junior. So the junior goalkeeper doing a nice job in net, Madrigal. And Ambersley chips it forward, she was looking for Ventura Tejada before it found one of the Highlanders' defensive players, and now that's towards center field. Pimenta kicks it back, but now the Highlanders off and running. Onside, but nice job by Madrigal to send it out towards the Crimson Tide bench. It'll go out of bounds, but it'll allow her Crimson Tide teammates to kind of reset defensively. Highlanders really starting to control possession, and they are getting scoring opportunities. Again, Maya Hamley looks like a top-notch player. She's out there headlining the attack. Nice job defensively. Isadora Pimenta. Let's hope she's okay. She looks like she took that directly towards the face on that ball. She is tough. She's okay, but she definitely took one right in the face area. So Isadora, the senior. She is the one senior on the Crimson Tide roster, and she's had a really good career. She's been a varsity player since her freshman year, I believe. And she's a really good player. So senior day here at 7 Acre Park, 0-0, Crimson Tide versus Somerville. And that's over. Bouncing ball over the head of Mendoza Bernal. But she gets to it, and she'll pass it back to Da Silva. Mendoza Bernal. Played in. Nice job defensively by Zubieta Numpak. And checking back into the game for the Crimson Tide is number 15, Cynthia Dominguez, and she'll replace number 3, Isadora Pimenta. Just over the reach of Numpak, and here is Maya Hamley again out in front. Hamley's going to kick it deep, and Maya Hamley buries it. Wasn't sure if that went in. It did, sure did. From deep, Maya Hamley puts the Highlanders on the board, 1-0. And that was from downtown. I mean, that was a good 30, 25, 30 yards out. It's tough to see on my angle. I thought for a second it might have went wide of the net, but it wasn't at all. And that shot had some velocity to it. This time she found the mark. That was her 4th shot here this afternoon, and this time it buries the back of the net. Highlanders on top, 1-0. Maya Hanley, the sophomore. And it's the Highlanders again. Tide coming up with it defensively. Dominguez clears it out, looking for Wizard. Nice job, gets it ahead. But Frazier doing a great job anchoring Somerville defense. Betancourt Cardona tries to clear it out, ends up falling to Fenya Savage Mantel. And that goes across the other side, but it's going to be picked up by Madrigal. Mariana will have a goal kick. Nice kick. Looking for Gigi Boyce, and they're going to call a foul there. And again, it's the Highlanders merging from it. Hanley over to Costa. But the Highlanders unable to stay onside. Crimson Tide will get it back. Nice kick by Layla, who sends it right back to the defensive line. Tide coming up with the breakaway. This is Gigi Boyce on the doorstep. Boyce! Oh, what a save by De Silva. Gigi Boyce emerged from the pack. And she had a clean break on goal, but junior goalkeeper Elizabeth De Silva did a nice job cutting off the angle, and she was able to turn aside the shot. Corner kick coming up for the Crimson Tide, and it looks like it's going to be number 11, Layla Isabella Betancourt Cardona, who will take the corner kick. And let's see if she can set up her teammates and try to tie this game up at 1. Oh, nice kick. Ooh, just over the hands of De Silva, but it couldn't find anyone on the other end. It was a nice send-in by Cardona, but unable to find anyone on the other side. So Highlanders will take it, and they're up by 1. And that's out of play. Crimson Tide ball. Nice pass into Stephanie Azurdia, but that is stolen. Ends up to Lessard Brandt. Over to Savage Mantel, but Dominguez comes up with it. Nice job. Looking for Cheyenne Ambersley, who does a great job to pass it forward to it, breaking away. Oh, what a save. Leticia Zavala Ayala had the breakaway, but once again, De Silva coming up with the big save for the Highlanders. And we are 20 minutes into the first half. Highlanders hanging on to a 1-0 lead. They started off in full control of this one, but the Crimson Tide now with the last few possessions. And again, it's Lamaya Wizard. She's going to try it from downtown. That's no good. Right into the waiting arms of De Silva. But the play before, Cheyenne Ambersley made a great play to tip it forward, kind of a chip pass forward to Zavala Ayala, who almost tied this thing up. But the Tide with some real good pressure on its last few trips down the field, really starting to increase the scoring opportunities. But once the Highlanders get possession, they don't waste too much time. They make some great long passes down the field. So you have to get back defensively for the Crimson Tide. They do just that. Nice job getting back. Dominguez now clears it out. Hanley comes up with it. sends it over to Lillian Martin. And Mariana Madrigal will come up with it. Nicely coming out of her net. Ooh, Madrigal just gets there. That was close. Madrigal was in a foot race with Kaylee Costa, but she just made it there. A little too close for comfort. Touch pass goes out of bounds. Last touch by Kira Guardia, so the Crimson Tide will have it. About 23 minutes into first half action. Somerville on top, 1-0. Looks like we have a timeout taken on the field. Both teams over to their respective benches. It's the Highlanders on top, 1-0 on the goal by sophomore, number 12, Maya Hamley, who fired into the back of the net about 25 yards out. And that's where we are right now. So the way this game started, the Highlanders really were in full control. They had possession deep in Everett's end, and it was the fourth scoring chance that finally got the Crimson Tide, Maya Hamley, who scored the goal. The Crimson Tide have sort of answered back, not yet on the goal sheet, but they have steadied their play a little bit, now bringing action into the Somerville end. The last couple saves, really nice job by Elizabeth De Silva coming out of her net, her goal, to cut off some of those angles. Crimson Tide had a couple near breakaways. One of them was a true breakaway, but Somerville, again, remaining unscathed here, and it was the job done by junior goalkeeper Elizabeth De Silva, keeping the Tide out of the net. So right now, 1-0 Highlanders. Coming back after this timeout, Highlanders are on the field first. And the Crimson Tide now getting some last-minute instructions. And this is Lamaya Wizard, who centers it, looking for Leticia Zavala Ayala. Now it's out in front, and Gigi Boyce is going after it along with Somerville's Stephanie Mendoza-Bernal. And it will be Highlander ball right in front of their bench. That's played back to Bridget Frazier. Frazier's done a really good job this game defensively. Very steady back there. She's one of the captains. That's going to go out of bounds. Last touched by the Highlanders, so Crimson Tide will take it. Ambersley, nice pass leading up front. That's Stephanie Azurdia. But Frazier gets back there defensively, able to cut off the angle. And the Highlanders are going up the sideline. That's out of bounds. It'll go back to the Crimson Tide. Ambersley touch pass goes out over to Azurdia. Wizard trailing Lessard Brandt. And now Stickgold centers it to Hanley. Chip pass back to Jill Hutchinson, who then chips it forward, looking for Hanley. Way out in front is Mariana Madrigal. She's down. Hanley's got a wide open net to work with, and she can't get to it, but looks like we're going to have a penalty shot coming up as the foul occurred. Goalkeeper was out of the net. Correction, so it's not a penalty shot. It's going to be a free kick just outside the box as the penalty occurred outside the box. So a free kick upcoming. Looks like Maya Hamley is in position to take this free kick, which makes sense. looking at some of the shots she's already put on net. So the Crimson Tide are going to have to be on it defensively here. Here comes Hanley. Puts her right foot into this one. Chips it forward. Oh, nice save by Madrigal. Double fist. Knocked it out. Still alive. Highlanders still putting on the pressure. Goes back to Hanley. She's at the top of the box. That's no good. Madrigal comes up with another big save. So Mariana Madrigal, the junior, keeping the Tide in this one. And that was a nice job by Hanley, who kind of chipped it. She was looking to just kind of place it to the top corner of the net, but Madrigal was there. Now it's Boyce, knocks it away defensively, and Gigi Boyce does a nice job. Try to get it towards center field. Highlanders get it back, but they have to reset. Nice job by Ambersley. And now it's Boyce putting on the pressure, making Mendoza Burnell work. But she does a nice job getting it to her teammate, Kira Guardia. And now the Highlanders quickly getting it back into the Crimson Tide defensive end. And it's going to be Crimson Tide ball. Nice deep kick by Betancourt Cardona. Guardia's pass ends up going over to Hanley, looking for Savage Mantell. Mantell then centers it. Pimenta, who's back into the game, battling defensively. Nice save. Mariana with another big save. Pimenta did a good job of disrupting the flow of Kaylee Costa as they were battling it out, allowing Madrigal to kind of set up defensively, take the proper angle, and knock it down. Oh, and Madrigal able to knock it down, quickly pounces on it, covering up the rebound, and then sends it down towards the center of the field, looking for Gigi Boyce. So the Highlanders, since the timeout, have really turned up the heat offensively. But Mariana Madrigal in net is keeping the Crimson Tide in it. And that just goes just past the outstretched leg of Noompak. And now it's Lillian Martin who's going to center it. And that's a goal. Lillian Martin's pass. Beautiful feed to number 16, Kaylee Costa. And it was really the pass that made it happen, although Kaylee Costa did a nice job of kind of one-timing it into the net. But the centering pass from the freshman, Lillian Martin, to the junior, Kaylee Costa, and the Highlanders are up 2-0. So this is about 30 minutes into the first half. Highlanders now up by 2. Goals scored by Maya Hamley and Kaylee Costa. Wizard sends it down the other end of the field. And that's out of bounds. Nicely played on by the official, keeping it from going maybe outside the fence, out of bounds. Crimson Tide ball. And that goes over the head of everyone but Maya Hamley. She's racing after it. Defensively, it's Leah Ferrulo battling. Nice job by Ferrulo getting into position to really not allow Hamley to have the best centering opportunity. It goes to the far end, and that's going to be Crimson Tide ball. But you can see the ability of Hamley to get past the last part of the defense out in space. And that's Guardia, leaves it over for Hutchinson. She dribbles in traffic, emerges, then nicely passes it out front for Hanley. Ends up to Martin. Martin's shot on net turned aside by Madrigal, but almost came up with it. Ends up out of bounds, and it's once again Mariana Madrigal turning away the up-close encounter with that fastball. So corner kick upcoming for the Highlanders as they're up by 2, continuing the offensive onslaught as they are really starting to turn it on. Let's see if the Tide can get a quick stop and clear it out. Just try to flip ends of the field. Oh, nice corner kick. That's deep. Good kick. It's out front, still alive. And Madrigal comes up with the save. Martin had come down with the corner kick, but there was some traffic out in front. Ground ball gets through the wickets, but ended up into the waiting arms of Madrigal, who then sends it downfield. Nice play by Ambersley. Racing out front. Working against Stickold, who then passes it forward for Savage Mentel. That's chipped forward. Now it's Boyce, but ends up going to Mendoza Burnell. Guardia. Ahead for Martin. Martin centers it, leaves it ahead for Manley. Beautiful pass out in space. Manley nets another one. Maya Hanley with her second goal on another very nice feed from Lillian Martin. And the Highlanders on top 3-0.
Stephanie, you gotta watch the people too. You can't stay up too much. Help defense. You too, Lamaya.
It was a really nice pass. Again, just leading Hanley to space, keeping it onside, and then Hanley, who really shows a scoring touch. You could see it early on in this game. And the Highlanders, very, very well done. They're well coached, well executing team right now. And again, out in front, Hanley centers it. And it actually was a nice job defensively by Cynthia Dominguez, getting back and getting a piece of that, allowing Madrigal to come up with it. But the Highlanders in full control right now. Hanley looks to knock it forward. That's taken away by Dominguez. Cynthia races after it, gets to it just as before it goes out of bounds, working one-on-one. Nice job, gets it to her teammate, Betancourt Cardona. Really nice job by Cynthia Dominguez, getting back there defensively. Now it's Simone Shresha. That goes out of bounds. Crimson Tide ball. Without having, again, an unofficial clock, we're about, I would say, 5 minutes to halftime. And that goes ahead. That's Martin. Centers a long pass out to Savage Mentel, which is beautifully assisted out front, but then Madrigal comes up with the save. Hanley looking for the hat trick, but it's Madrigal coming up with the save, keeping this at 3. And Madrigal coming up with the save. We do have a timeout in the field. Madrigal a little bit slow after that save. Although she is speaking to the official, she appears to be okay. Little timeout taken. Out in front goes Savage Mantell. Out centers it and save Madrigal. And we have some substitutions coming in, some wholesale changes on the Highlander side. 3 in, 3 out. And looks like it is the trio, the trifecta of Lillian Martin, Maya Hamley, and Fenya Savage Mantell taking a well-deserved break. And also joining them on the bench, more stellar play, and that's Kaylee Costa. She'll take a seat on the bench as well. So 4 players checking in for the Highlanders as they go into their bench. In command of this one, 3-0. We're just minutes away from halftime. And again, at halftime, stay with us for a brief presentation for the Crimson Tide's senior, Isadora Pimenta. This is senior day, and she is the lone senior on the Crimson Tide roster. So we will have a little presentation for Isadora at halftime, so stay with us as we'll continue with our live coverage here from 7 Acres Park in Everett. Offsides is the call. Betancourt Cardona sends it deep downfield, but that's going to roll out of bounds. Let's see if it touched anyone on the way. And it appears, as they're getting the ball underneath the Somerville bench, it looks like it did. So it's going to be Crimson Tide ball, just past midfield. Maybe they can try to get one here going into the half. Betancourt Cardona working in traffic. Nice job coming out of the pack. Good job by Layla. And now it's Stephanie Azurdia, and she's working in traffic. And then that's touched on by Leticia Zavala Ayala. Good hustle by Ayala. Good job by the Crimson Tide, getting down the field. Nice job. Tania Ventura Tejada also did a very good job hustling back into the play there. Nice touch pass from Boyce to Dominguez. And that goes out into empty space, taken up by Aaliyah Vasquez. And now ends up back to the Tide. It's Zavala, Ayala, and Azurdia working. And now it's Boyce working against Mendoza Bernal. That's been a common theme here today. But the Highlanders ultimately emerge with possession. Oh, nice move. That was a great move by Marie Lessard-Brandt, who stuck her foot in the ground, went the other way. But nice job defensively, getting back into it. Leah Ferrulo able to just knock it out of bounds, give her teammates some time to get back defensively and reset, but really good move by Lessard-Brandt. And again, she's out in space. Lessard-Brandt fires one that just curves out of bounds. And it did hit a Crimson Tide player, so a corner kick is the call. So corner kick upcoming. It's going to be number 10, Jill Hutchinson, putting her foot into this one. And she'll just touch pass it back out to Maria, Stephanie Mendoza Bernal. That's knocked down in front. Crimson Tide in tough sledding. Gets to the other side. Still alive. That's played out in front. It's a fight for the loose ball. Tide trying to get it out. And that's knocked out of play. And Gigi Boyce, who was on the other end of the foul, so well, they called her on the foul, I guess.
Cynthia, who's got 11? Someone's gonna pick up 28. Who's got 8? Stephanie, pick up number 8. Stephanie, you got 4.
So we have a free kick upcoming for Jill Hutchinson. She'll chip this forward, tries to touch it out in front, and she does so nicely, but that just goes wide of the net. As Hutchinson really laid out a nice pass. It made its way through, but fortunately for the Crimson Tide, it goes wide of the net. Nice job by Madrigal coming out of the net, and again, trying to eliminate some of the scoring angle that the Highlanders had, but still, those passes have been finding open space, and that's something you want to try to tighten up if you're the Crimson Tide. Betancourt Cardona will send it out. And that makes its way to Frazier. Sends it over to Mendoza Bernal.
Keep an eye on 11.
Lessard Brandt emerging from the pack. Oh, nice job, Dominguez. We've said it time and time again today. Cynthia Dominguez doing a really nice job anchoring the back defensively for the Crimson Tide. And Gigi Boyce also doing a nice job trailing after every loose ball she can. But again, the Highlanders wasting no time getting back into Crimson Tide territory. That's Emily Portillo Pena, who, it goes out of bounds. Let's see. We have a corner kick coming up. So the Crimson Tide will set up defensively. They're going to try to at least go into halftime down 3 here. I would imagine we're in what would be maybe extra time of this first half.
Kick it hard.
Nice job, Stephanie Azurdia. So a foul on Somerville, so red kick coming up.
You gotta kick it harder. That's not difficult.
Good job by Stephanie Azurdia getting possession there. So the Tide will look to get something going. She sends it towards the middle off of the leg of Hutchinson, but it ends up to Mendoza Bernal. Off to Guardia. And Betancourt Cardona wisely kicks it out of bounds. But the Highlanders again continuing their time in the Everett end. And it's going to be Crimson Tide kick coming up. We got a whistle for some substitutions.
Behind you. 18 on your left. With number 4.
And the Highlanders advance. Azurdia with another strong defensive play. Leaves it forward for Zavala Ayala. That ends up back to Azurdia. Now it's Hutchinson comes up with it for the Highlanders, and she passes it ahead to Kara Guardia. She centers it, and it's corralled. Nice catch by Mariana Madrigal. And that is the whistle for halftime. And in the first half, it's all Highlanders in this one as they are leading 3-0. Stay with us as we'll be doing a brief little halftime presentation for our Crimson Tide senior, Isadora Pimenta. So don't go anywhere, folks.
All right, attention fans, with our Senior Day tradition, we want to recognize our one senior for our Crimson Tide, and it is number 3, Isadora Pimenta. Congrats on a great career, Isadora.
And we are just moments away from beginning the second half here from 7 Acre Park in Everett. And it's been all Highlanders so far in this one. They are on top 3-0 behind 2 first half goals by sophomore Maya Hamley and also a goal by junior Kaylee Costa. Lillian Martin had some great assists on those plays, and defense play by their captain, Bridget Frazier, has really anchored what they want to do in the back end, not allowing any of that Everett pressure to bring into their end. Also, their goalkeeper, Elizabeth De Silva, has done a very nice job. But the Highlanders really have controlled possession, and they seem like a very strong team. Everett's playing tough. They're hanging in there. They're doing everything they can right. Mariana Madrigal has been very strong in net, so she's helped keep the score as what it is. There's really nothing she can do in any of those goals. They were really in some tight spaces with some goals that were hit with some velocity. So you would have had some tough work trying to knock down any of those. So the Highlanders will start things off on top 3-0 here at 7 Acre Park. This is the first year of this playing facility. No stands as of yet, but nice area to walk, and always pretty windy here. The last time we were here, and the wind was a lot stronger than this. Hey, what's up, Dom? And it definitely some good action. This is a nice field. Really nice job that the city of Everett has done putting this together. And here we go, the Highlanders right back to work. And that is Cynthia Dominguez, who, oh, actually that was Betancourt Cardona. So it's going to be Crimson Tide ball. And that's Jill Hutchinson. Leaves it over to Stephanie Mendoza-Burnell. Kira Guardia. Nice job defensively by Isadora Pimenta. Now gets through to Hanley. It's going to be red ball.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's Lamaya Wizard. Working against Hutchinson, gets it over to Azurdia. That's intercepted Guardia. Guardia runs into Leah Ferrulo. It's going to be Highlanders ball right in front of us here on the fence. Bridget Frazier leaves it for Hanley. Goes over to Stickold in front of the Highlanders bench. Chipped ahead. Highlanders continuing where they left off in the Crimson Tide end. Tide want to clear it out here. And Pimenta tries to clear it out. But the Highlanders still playing tough, and that's going to be a foul. Nice job turned aside by Betancourt Cardona. Lessard Brandt working on Betancourt Cardona, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Highlanders. And that's Hutchinson now. She centers it, looking for, I have a number 21 on my roster. And that's turned aside by Mariana Madrigal. She puts her foot into that one, kicks it out towards center field, looking for Gigi Boyce.
Go!
Lessard Brandt going into the Crimson Tide end. Nice job by Wizard. And Gigi Boyce hustling after it. Nice hustle by Boyce. It's going to be Highlanders ball. That's Violet Stickold. Hanley back to Frazier. Oh, off the foot of Pimenta. Pimenta needs to race back. Kara Guardia is there. Guardia emerging from the pack. It's a race for it. Cleared out. Turned aside by Zubeta Numpak. Now that's Ambersley. Chips it over to Boyce. Tide looking to get something going. Haven't been in this end in a while. But Hanley does a great job getting back to it. And she'll send it back to her goalkeeper, De Silva, back over to the Highlanders. So good job transition defense for the Highlanders getting back, nullifying that Tide attack. Now it's chipped forward. Again, I don't have a number 21 on my roster for Somerville, so forgive me. I have a 27, but that's definitely a 21. Pimenta sends it up the sideline. And that goes to Mendoza Bernal. And Leticia Zavala Ayala battling with Mendoza Bernal. Great one-on-one battle right there. Nice job by Leticia for the Crimson Tide. A lot of hustle. Dominguez now sends it forward. And so offsides. So Highlanders ball. Goes deep, all the way down. Betancourt Cardona chasing after it. And out of bounds, it's going to be Highlanders ball. And substitutions checking in. 3 in, 3 out for the Highlanders. We're about 10 minutes into the second half. Highlanders up by 3. Savage Mentel centers it for Lillian Martin. And that's a foul, so free kick upcoming for Somerville. And they've been pretty good in this area. And Jill Hutchinson will set things up. She chips it ahead. Oh, nicely done. Oh, wow. Point blank range was Lillian Martin on a nice chip pass from Hutchinson, just above the crossbar. But that was right on the doorstep. Yeah, it did split the upright, so you'll get 3 on a football field, and they are on a football field, so that's a good call. Nice job by Wizard, chipping it forward off the free kick from Betancourt Cardona. And then Ambersley does a nice job to poke it forward. Gigi Boyce now ahead of the pack, but defensively right there, Marie Lessard-Brandt was able to control tempo and get it back to Frazier, who reset. Now Mendoza Bernal. And it's Kira Guardia. And she centers it. And that's Lillian Martin. And corner kick is coming up. So it's Hanley. She'll take the corner kick. Puts a good kick into this one. Finds Martin. But Madrigal comes up with the save. It actually went over the top, found Lillian Martin. But Madrigal quickly pounces on the little chip shot over the shoulder, over the head of Boyce. Played on skyward by Frazier. Now Hutchinson. Back to Frazier. And Stephanie Azurdia. So we're going to have a push on white, so a red kick coming up. Stephanie Azurdia in the middle of the action there. Taking the kick is Layla Isabella Betancourt Cardona, the freshman. She sends a good kick into that one. Gigi Boyce battling along with Frazier. Out to De Silva. right in front of the Crimson Tide bench. It's going to go off of Savage Mantell, out of bounds, Crimson Tide ball. About 15 minutes into the second half here, give or take. No electronic scoreboard, just looking at my phone. 40-minute halves, trying to do a little addition. Wasn't a great math guy, but we're right around that ballpark. And they're looking out. That was right there. Zubieta Numpak, unable to corral it. And now it's Kira Guardia, tightrope in the sideline, knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Highlanders. They'll get a reset. The instructions just making sure the ball is set. Wizard clears it out, but now Frazier has it. Back over to Stickold. And out in front, it's Hanley looking for the hat trick. Nice defense right there. Leah Ferrulo did a great job defensively. Nice save by Madrigal. Oh, nice job by Wizard. Good job by Lamaya. Stickold. And Boyce picks up the foul.
Stephanie, you're good right there. Relax. You're good. Look at the ball.
So Hutchinson's going to put her foot into this, chips it forward. Leah Ferrulo. Oh, yeah, can't play the header. Again, with the COVID rules, can't take a header. So Leah Ferrulo just doing what's natural in the soccer field, but for right now during these times, it's a turnover. So it's going to be a free kick coming up in what is going to be very close territory for the Highlanders. Tide are going to have to set up that wall, see if they can come up with kind of a defensive fortress to try to keep this out. Highlanders looking to add their fourth goal here today.
Get ready to run out. As soon as they touch it, you gotta run out.
So it looks like Hutchinson. She's going to take. Hutchinson takes the touch pass. Ferrulo does a great job anticipating the touch pass and comes up with it. So nice job by Leah Ferrulo. As she could anticipate where they wanted to go with that.
Let's go, Lila. Send it. Gigi, stretch the field, girl. Gigi, let's go.
So a free kick coming up for the Crimson Tide after a little back and forth on I guess, a trade of fouls. So now a handball will give it back to the Highlanders. So Highlanders possession. Hutchinson sends it forward, looking for Martin. Martin does a nice job coming down with it. Works through traffic, gets it over to, that is Lessard Brandt. And now that was Savage Mantell who had it knocked away, and Ambersley sends it up the field. Gigi Boyce racing after it with Stickold. Boyce makes a nice move. Boyce in a foot race, but nice job by Violet Stickold. Boyce and Stickold really racing up the field. Good speed, both of them. Good hustle. So it's going to be a free kick coming up for the Crimson Tide. And they haven't been in Somerville's end very often here in the second half. Let's see if they can maybe get something going, a deep kick in, maybe get a rebound, something on net. Just try to put something towards the net, as the Highlanders have really been in control with the time on the attack on their side. Nice job by Betancourt Cardona. Ooh! Oh, wow, what a save. What a save by Elizabeth De Silva. The Tide almost had one, but De Silva came up with a sprawling save, knocking it to the wayside. Corner kick for the Tide, they get it in. And that's Azurdia, but that's cleared out by Bridget Frazier. Frazier now has it down to Hanley. Hanley working in space is going to leave it out in front for Lillian Martin. Martin racing after it. And Leah Ferrulo knocks it out of bounds, but we're going to have a foul coming up. So free kick coming up. And just like that, Highlanders able to flip the field after some nice pressure by the Crimson Tide. Good scoring opportunity, but again, Elizabeth De Silva really did a nice job in net. Oh, Hanley puts a deep shot to the net. Nice save by Madrigal. That was quite a kick. I mean, that came, again, that's about 25, 30 yards out. I have a good look at that. I'm right on the angle where that shot came from. Nice save by Madrigal, but that thing was heading towards the net in a hurry, and it made its way there unscathed. So nice job by Mariana, who's really been terrific in net for the Crimson Tide. There's really not much else she can do. Nice job by the Tide defensively. It's going to stay with the Highlanders. Somerville with a very impressive attack. Really, they move the ball well. Very decisive with what they're doing. Good job defensively. Ambersley over to Dominguez. Nice job. Now Frazier controls it back to Savage Mentel. Over to Lessard Brandt. Played on beautifully by Hanley. Now it's Savage Mentel working on the left side. Quick touch pass, and that's out of bounds. It's going to be red ball. And checking into the game for the Crimson Tide, back into the game, that's number 7, Simone Shresha. And Shresha will replace number 25, Lamaya Wizard. Touch pass goes to Ambersley. Betancourt Cardona sends it back out top. Oh, nice move by Mendoza Bernal over to Hutchinson. Hutchinson makes a nice move. Violet Stickgold. Wow, great pass over to Lillian Martin. Oh, was it just offside? Good look, though. Good look. Good feed right there. Very close. So it's going to be a red kick upcoming. Highlanders on top 3-0 here at 7 Acres Park in Everett. These games in the past were played down at Everett Stadium, but with this new park, this has now been the major soccer facility. And very nice park. Again, can't say enough about this area down here. Really nice job. Gigi Boyce working in traffic, facing some relentless defense, but continuing the hustle herself. Nice job by Gigi. Really playing tough out there. But here comes Kara Guardia. She's got room to work with. Chips it out in front. Turned aside nicely by Leah Ferrulo. And Ferrulo playing very strong defensively. And now it's Betancourt Cardona looking for Shresha. Played back, Mendoza Bernal to Guardia. And now Dominguez has it. Dominguez leaves it out in front. Mendoza Bernal gets her foot into it. She was looking for Lessard Brandt, but it's Azurdia coming up with it. That's cleared out. And Violet Stickgold will race after it. A little bit of a collision there in front of the Crimson Tide bench. Both players back on their feet pretty quick. So it'll be Highlanders ball after the slide tackle foul. Wow, that was nicely done. Tide are going to have to get back defensively. They do. Nice job by Betancourt Cardona. She was the only one back there, and she was racing against some Somerville players, so that would have been tough. She gets back there. Somerville, again, still on the prowl here, keeping up the pressure. This is Hutchinson now at the top of the box, sends it in. Madrigal comes up with the save, and just in time corrals the rebound in front of a crashing Lillian Martin, who was rushing towards the net. Nice shot, but nice save by Madrigal, and she gets on the rebound quickly. Hutchinson calmly settles it down, looking for Guardia, but nice job by Pimenta. Pimenta did a nice job defensively getting that out. Hutchinson puts the brakes on, back over to Frazier. Frazier sends it in deep. That's over the head and out of bounds. And we'll have a timeout. It'll be Everett ball after the timeout. Both teams heading to their respective benches. I believe this is what the officials deem as like a COVID timeout. So they kind of just, you know, I don't think either team took one. I think they just do like these quick little, I saw they do that in football too. So I think that's kind of like what some of the protocols are. So a brief little timeout taken here on the field. We'll continue rolling, so don't go anywhere. Highlanders on top, 3-0. Maya Hanley, sophomore, has 2 goals. Kaylee Costa has a goal. And those are the 3 goals for the Highlanders. They've gotten some strong goaltending play from Elizabeth De Silva. And for the Crimson Tide, no goals on the board, but continuing to hustle and play tough. And goalkeeper Mariana Madrigal. It is worth mentioning, she's doing a great job in net. If it weren't for her play, they would be a few more on the board right now. So she's doing a really good job keeping the Somerville scoring at 3. So nice job by Mariana. So a rough estimate here, I'd say we're about maybe 25, 30 minutes into the second half, give or take a few of those minutes after this timeout. As we return, Highlanders on top 3-0. Not a bad day here. It's about 50 degrees out. It started off as a rainy day throughout much of the morning, but it's been dry here since we've been down here for this broadcast. And while the sun may not be visible, it's really not too bad. I mean, you got a little bit of wind, but in our previous couple times down here so far, this wind pales in comparison to what we had this past weekend. So no complaints over here. So it's red ball after the timeout. Crimson Tide still looking to get on the board. They've had some nice chances. Haven't had too many of them, but it's been Elizabeth De Silva up to the challenge every time for Somerville. So right now the Tide just trying to get it out of their end. So that's played on, turned aside, and Dominguez now going after it. But Hanley comes up with it, sends it back to Frazier, over to Mendoza Bernal. Hutchinson. Now Pimenta comes up with it, but Martin has it. Martin Shoots it ahead, and that's turned aside. Wow. Nice job by Madrigal. Corner kick upcoming, and it's, again, the Highlanders. Really, they know what to do when they're in those proximities. Let me get my camera. Here. Again, it's going to be Hanley with the corner. She puts a good kick into this one. Right up top to Martin. Oh, she came down with a clean. Oh, what a save by Madrigal. Again, pinball action right there. Off the foot of Martin to Savage Mantel, but Madrigal in the right spot, but that thing was coming off quick. Nice feed, good delivery from Hanley. Had a lot of height coming down. That's what you want in your corner kicks, allowing your team time to camp under it. And that's what they had right there. Skyward goes the free kick from Madrigal. Oh, nice pass. Give and go. Savage Mantel centers it. Oh, just wide. So it's going to be Crimson Tide goal kick. Betancourt Cardona works it, looking for Azurdia, but no one there. Mendoza Bernal over to Hutchinson. Oh, nice touch pass by Costa, but Madrigal comes up with it. Costa was looking to set up Hanley. Madrigal puts her foot into it, looking for Ambersley, just past her reach. Sresha is going to kick it out of play. Highlanders ball. And Lessard Brandt out in front looking for Savage Mantel, out of bounds. That goes down the length of the field, and that'll go out of bounds. It was deflected, so it's actually going to stay with red on the official's call. And quickly they move. And it's Zavala Ayala racing after it, working against Mendoza Bernal. Nice job by Bernal, kicking it out of play, allowing her teammates a chance to get back and reset. The Tide looking to try to get something. Let's see if they can gather in the box here. Wizard centers it out in front. Oh, De Silva's right there. And it finds Hutchinson. Hutchinson now with a lot of green space. Oh, nice move. Puts the brakes on. She's got Guardia. Sends it up the sideline. Nice job by Pimenta. And Sresha working hard. Good job by Pimenta and Simone Sresha on that play. But now the Highlanders again with numbers. Maya Hanley out in front. Hanley racing. Unabated to the net. Hanley centers it. Oh, wow. Wow, that hit the crossbar. You got to be kidding me. Wow. What a sequence of events right there. Hanley with a beautiful centering pass, and it was like so close to the net. It almost cut off the angle in a way that just don't chip it up. But it was a good bid, and the Tide fortunate there. But nice job by the Tide getting back defensively. And then Hutchinson with the fires in a ground ball right in the chest of Madrigal. She comes up with the save. So the Tide, a little fortunate there to come out of that one. But good job by the Tide defense, hustling back. Hanley. Guardia over to Hanley. Little give and go. Centers it. That's played on. Nice job by Ferrulo. going to stay with the Highlanders. Nice move. Good job by Letitia. And Ambersley pokes it out. Stick Gold calms it down, sends it back to Frazier, who kicks it forward. Ferrulo battling with Costa. Costa has a goal here today. Oh, Hanley. Good footwork to get that out of midair, out of bounds. Again, give or take, maybe 5 minutes left in this game. I know that says, hey man, how do you not know the time? Well, again, I don't have a scoreboard. I'm working with my phone. It usually adds up, but it's not an exact science here, so, you know, just bear with me. Second half. So in front of the Highlanders bench, Stick Gold gets it back into play. It was over to Savage Mantel, who left it for Lessard Brandt. It goes out of bounds. It's going to be Crimson Tide ball. Checking back into the game for the Tide is number 23, Gigi Boyce, replacing number 4, Maria Paula Zubeta Numbiak. Ooh, my cord's a little tight, sorry. Martin over to Guardia. Martin comes up with it, sends it out to Hanley. Hanley's out in front. Oh, just wide of the net. Again, you can't take your sights off of those Highlanders at any point. They'll make a quick play, center it out in front. They work with space very well, and everyone can strike on this team. So, again, very impressed with the Highlanders' attack. Crimson Tide hanging in there, trying to battle defensively, but really up against it. Yeah. Looks like we just got a little lacing up the cleats timeout right now. That's got to be tough with the gloves on too, right? Oh, they took the gloves off. Yeah, it'd be a hard time tying those without. And Betancourt Cardona sends it downfield. That's going to be a handball, just catching the hand of Lamaya Wizard. So the Highlanders will get it back. Mendoza Bernal over to Guardia. Guardia out in front looking for Martin. Martin centers it. Oh, wow, just chipped over the net. And that was a nice bid right there by Natalie Rauda Pena. And that just chipped over, just missed. It was a good bid right there. So again, if you're still keeping track of score going through the uprights, I believe it did split the uprights. But didn't make it into the back of the net. But again, it wasn't for the collective oohs and ahs of the audience with some nice crisp passing. Again, the Somerville attack it's been impressive to watch. They passed the ball very well. Okay, I did just hear an official. Looks like we're just under 10 minutes left. So I just heard an official answer one of the players on the field. So call it maybe 8 minutes. I guess that would quantify into the under 10 minutes. Ooh, we got a spill there, a little bit of contact. Both players up. Everyone seems okay. It's going to be a free kick coming up for the Crimson Tide.
Watch the line, guys. Don't be outside.
Nice kick.
Go, Gigi, run! Run!
Good length by Betancourt Cardona. De Silva comes way out to come up with it, but really nice kick by Layla. Tide need to get back. Nice job by Ferrulo. And again, Ferrulo does a nice job taking it out of the air. Lillian Martin. Oh, wow. Nice save by Madrigal. On an absolute howitzer from Martin. Oh, and that's no good. The second crossbar that's been hit. Wow. They're going to have to bring the Windex out in that crossbar and clean off some ball marks on there, man. That was a good hit right there. But Madrigal staying tough out in net. Yeah, the force was definitely on that one. Here we go, Somerville again. Hamley now kicks it. Oh, and that's just wide of the net. Maya Hamley almost littering the field with some hats, as that would have been her third goal. And we have a substitution in net for the Highlanders. 00, Savina Schreiber checking into the game, replacing number 1, Elizabeth De Silva. And De Silva was outstanding in net. She didn't have too many shots come her way, but the one she did, she was up to the challenge every time. So a goose egg on the stat sheet for De Silva. And that's always what you want if you're a goalkeeper. Gigi Boyce out in front. Boyce racing out, but Mendoza Bernal is going to get there as she provides the last line of defense. But great effort by Gigi Boyce. And now it's Azurdia looking to come up with it. Ends up a nice sportsmanship there down the field as Boyce helped up Mendoza Bernal. And out in front, Maya Hanley works around Ferrulo. Hanley now out in front. Centers it. Oh, wow, back of the net. Beautifully done. One-timer. Kaylee Costa with her second goal of the game, and it was on the centering pass of Maya Hanley. And the one-timer finds the back of the net. And I believe that's how Costa scored the first time as well. She took a pass and just one-timed it in there. So she knows what to do when she's on the doorstep. And very nice job by the Highlanders as they are on top 4-0. Again, Mariana Madrigal has been outstanding in net. There's really nothing you can do on those when you're going to have a 2-on-1 like that. It's a big net. I mean, it's going to give up a lot of real estate there, but nice job by Somerville, who is in total control here. About 5 minutes left in this one. And that's Lamaya Wizard. Nice job by Wizard. Passes it up front, looking for Azurdia before the Highlanders come up with the steal. Ventura Tejada providing some defense out of bounds. And that's going to be red ball. Betancourt Cardona to Boyce, back to Cardona. And Cardona now, look at Layla. Gets it up the field. Nice job by the freshman. Boyce comes in now with Azurdia. Gets around Hutchinson, but nice job by Frazier. Frazier and Mendoza Bernal been outstanding defensively too. While all the goals have been making its way to the back of the net, the last line of defense for Somerville's been there as well. Now it's the freshman, Lillian Martin. Martin now. We've seen her do it in her facilitating role, and this time she almost nets one. She's had a couple great passes to her name early on. That one she almost found it. Just wide. Good bid though. Good bid. And this is Hutchinson. Calmly brings it down. Oh, and just a simple little touch pass like that. Hanley out in front. Nice job by Hutchinson. I kind of like that. She was just kind of came in very calm, just kind of touch passed it forward, almost lulling the defense to sleep a little bit. Wide of the net. And the force has definitely been with the Highlanders as they've been working from the high ground today. A good round for some substitutions out for the Highlanders there. Played very well today. Well-deserved break and ovation from the crowd. Got some nice little stand-in crowd here today. Ooh, we had a tough collision there. I tell you, that's good stuff right there. Stephanie Mendoza-Bernal quickly gets back up on her feet after her and Lamaya Wizard collided. Both girls appear all right. They're both up quickly. Good sportsmanship, too. I like that. Wizard sends it in deep, looking for Boyce. Touch pass to Azurdia, back to Boyce. Now it's Betancourt Cardona. Gets past Lessard Brandt. And that's turned away by Rada Pena. Lessard Brandt coming out of the pack. And it's Dominguez. Good job defensively by Cynthia. Cynthia sends it downfield looking for Letitia. Hutchinson working in traffic. Pimenta was able to get a foot into that before Marie Lessard Brandt. Oh, Lessard Brandt sends it forward, but they're going to call offsides as she was looking for number 28, Emily Silva. But Silva was just past the line of defense, so offsides is the call. Frazier working against Azurdia and Zavala Ayala. And now it's Mendoza-Bernal with some nifty footwork working in the middle of the field. Stephanie Mendoza-Bernal, after taking the hearted earlier, and then rifles the pass. Aaliyah Vasquez out of bounds.
How much longer is this game going to last? I have 17 minutes of battery left.
So we have a corner kick. Jill Hutchinson will be putting her foot into this. She kicks it low on the ground. It's out in front. And that's off the post. And Ayala clears it out. And Gigi Boyce with wide open field to work with. Boyce heads up the field. Boyce kicks it forward. Frazier's there. Frazier gets to it. She's going to leave it over to no, that's right. That's Savina Schreiber now in net. I almost said De Silva, but oh! And we got a goal. That is number 13, Leticia Zavala Ayala. Right? Oh, that wasn't a goal. I'm sorry. My mistake. Tough angle. I couldn't see. I thought that was a goal. I couldn't see it well. Yeah. I don't. They said no. I don't think so. But I told it is. Okay, I thought so. I definitely went Jack Edwards on the broadcast, but like I didn't. Okay, so it was a goal. I was right. Some miscommunication in the truck. My fans actually got my back here in that one. And that's how it ends. Wow. All right, so that's going to do it here from 7 Acres Park in Everett. with the final score, Somerville 4, Everett 1. And it was senior day here at 7 Acres Park with our Crimson Tide senior, Isadora Pimenta, being the lone senior, as she finishes a nice career at Everett and looks forward to graduating this spring. Nice job by Isadora and a great career she had. To the Crimson Tide, they played hard today, but they just ran into it. Very nice effort. But the Somerville Highlanders, you got to give credit where it's due. They were well coached, and they really clicked in every phase of the game, and they were winners here 4-1. So that's going to do it here from 7 Acres Park in Everett. We want to give a special thanks to our central administration, our superintendent of schools, Priya Tahiliani, deputy superintendent, Kim Sai, assistant superintendents, Charles Obremski and Kevin Shaw, chief financial officer, Anu Madapa Giant, budget and grants director, Shirley Pang, executive associate of project implementation, Adeline Celestin, director of special education, William Donahue, high school principal, Eric Nauman, assistant principal, Corey McCarthy, athletic director, Tammy Turner, communications coordinator, Dave O'Connor, and all the faculty and staff here at Everett High School. We also want to recognize our television studio. That's our director, Bill Munier, our live stream director and technical producer, Jeff Natio. Our cameramen this afternoon, we have Joe Camley on game camera, and our side cameramen, we have Aneem Osmani and Thomas Pham. And a bit of our facilitator, kind of jack of all trades, helping us out today was Zach Taylor. So great job all around from my crew. I'm Josh Delgazo, and we were happy to bring you the action. This was Crimson Tide Soccer on EHS TV 15, coming to you live on YouTube. So thanks for joining us, folks. From all of us here at EHS TV 15, have a good night, and may the force be with you.